Hello, everybody. I'm Kelley Kleiman, and today on our Quickcast, we're talking to Sean Kelley, the founder of Car Motivators. Sean, thanks for jumping on.
My honor, Kelley Kleiman.
Now, you've been coaching dealership personnel longer and with better results than anyone I know. So the question is going to be, why does coaching work so much better than traditional sales training?
Great question, Kelley. Thank you for asking. At the end of the day, when it comes to helping people master and implement skills, training is critical. In fact, it's the foundation for success. What we find is that most dealerships have very skilled managers and very talented salespeople. Of course, there's always a range, right? But for the most part, they know how to sell a car, and they've had a lot of training, both on the job and sometimes formalized. And training helps with, can I do it? In addition to, can I do something? Okay, will I do it? Right? Do I want to do it? Do I need to do it? So training helps with that very first layer, can I do it? But when it comes to, will I do it? And do I want to do it? And do I need to do it? That's where coaching comes in. With coaching, we're able to help get buy-in from that individual around doing something, help them understand the why, connect the dots to what they want to accomplish in their immediate future and their long-term career goals. And by helping them better understand how that will help, how that sort of skill, using that skill will help them achieve their goals, they're more likely to do it. And in addition, we don't just coach, it's not just a grassroots approach, it's also a top-down approach. So we're helping the managers of the dealership become better leaders. And as a result of that, they're able to create accountability measures, and that's where the need comes in. So we're able to expertly ease people with coaching. We're able to expertly ease people out of their comfort zone and build on the foundation of training that the dealership already has. Imagine, you have two avenues, right? You can come in and say, you guys are selling cars all wrong, do my approach. And I've heard trainers in the industry say, if your people aren't selling cars the way I teach you, then their success has been just luck. I'm sorry to say, but there's some really strong talent in the car business, and they've been successful without that type of training, and they'll probably continue to be successful without that type of training. But again, if a dealership needs that foundation of training, we'll suggest that too. So training is important, but it's the coaching is like where the rubber meets the road. I always say training is like having a shiny car in your driveway. Coaching is the gas that makes that car get from A to B.
That makes sense. It's more of a personal development and a motivational, inspirational concept there that I think is longer lasting, but that's my opinion.
No, you're right, Kelley.
Yeah.
To your point, every person on your team, every manager on your team needs individualized development. It's that simple. Training is a one-size-fits-all approach to people development. It's a floodlight, right? You're giving everyone the foundation, and it's pretty canned, pretty off the shelf. This is the best practice. This is how we're going to do this. And you want everyone to be aligned with that. In reality, when you try to implement training, think about it. How many salespeople say, well, I'm not going to do it that way. My way works better. Or the manager poo-poos it. If it doesn't, if the team isn't aligned to doing something, if they're not all on the same page, then what are the odds of it being implemented effectively? It's just not going to happen. So with coaching, we're able to get alignment. We get the managers, the salespeople, and everyone on the same page. And we don't have to tell them, we don't come in and say, you're doing it all wrong, do it our way or no way. We're going to work with them because it's a lot easier to tweak and enhance their process, their methodology for selling. Of course, we're going to take, our best practices from our dealers, our highly successful dealers from across the country, and suggest things to improve the systems and processes and training and methodologies that our dealers are already using. But that's a lot easier than trying to get them to rebuild everything from the ground up. So that's where dealers find a lot more success with Car Motivators coaching than they do with one-size-fits-all training.
Training is the engine, and the coaching is the fuel in that engine to get the vehicle to move. Well, let's talk about rubber meets the road. We used that pun a little earlier. So case studies. What case studies can you provide regarding optimized performance across all segments of a dealership, not just reflected in gross sales?
We have many case studies, and that's because with coaching, and this is another big difference between training and coaching, right? The trainer comes in, teaches you what you need to learn, or gives you some online portal. You take the class and then you hope there's an improvement. And then maybe you see a lift, but is it coming from the training, or is it coming because the market got better, right? So with coaching, everything we do is zeroed in around specific growth plans that the team wants to accomplish together. So I'll just name some of my favorite case studies that have just happened within the last 12 months. We have a Honda store down in Florida who's had an amazing increase. And this is, well, actually, so this, I'll share a pre-COVID case study, because a lot of people are talking about results after COVID and how everyone's had a lift. But I'll talk about a couple pre-COVID case studies. So these guys had consistently been selling 300 cars a month at their dealership. And we actually did a growth plan. And this was time management coaching, building what I call routines for success, finding out what is that, low profit activities people are wasting time and energy on, and eliminating the things that are getting in everyone's way of selling cars. That's what most car guys and gals want to do, Kelly. They want to come to work and sell cars, right? And other things are a waste of time. And I couldn't agree more. So we analyze everyone's routine from the GM all the way to the frontline staff. And we were able to work with them to develop routines for success for the sales managers, the salespeople. And as a result, within 30 days, we literally had a 100 car increase. We went from 300 to 400 cars a month. And it took some planning, it took some inventory acquisition, but by honing each person's routine, from the buyer to the GM to the sales manager to the salespeople, and eliminate and adding more profitable action, we were able to have a 100 car increase. That's one case study. Another, we had a Chrysler store in New Jersey who had always averaged about $325,000 in gross profit, and the GSM wanted to have $1 million months. So we built a plan, a 12-month plan, and we followed up. We coached on it every single month. And as a result of that plan, they started consistently breaking $1 million. And over the last 18 months, they haven't had a month where they grossed less than $1 million. And the peak, they've hit as high as 1.4 million. And now we're going to start, we're talking about setting a goal to get to $2 million. And as a result of our success there, our dealers actually, he's been awarded another Chrysler point, and we're building another dealership. And the GSM has been going through NADA school, and it's a big part and due to our coaching. So, we help managers grow their careers as well. We have 3 managers right now that are enrolled for NADA school in 3 different states that are all going together, right? So he's going to NADA school, and he's going to be taking over as platform manager for their multiple stores. And I mean, talk about a big win there. And I'll share one more. We had, there's been this, everyone's aware of the massive inventory shortage dealers have been dealing with. Well, one of my dealers and I, we created, and my team of coaches, we created a 90-day growth plan to help them adopt purchasing cars as a big part of their routine. And we developed, together, we co-created processes for that, a pay plan for that, and training for the salespeople on how to call other dealers and buy their inventory, how to call customers that are in their sold database. We created email templates, text message templates, all this. It was a beautiful plan. And as a result of that, the first 30 days, they bought 22 vehicles, 19 of which sold that first month. So, we found 19 sales from one day of coaching. Think about that. And then over the next 60 days, it snowballed from there. And at its peak, they had their sales team purchased 28 vehicles that would have been 28 vehicles they never had in stock. And they're averaging about 4,800 a car. So do the math on that, 28 vehicles times 4,800. I mean, it's a massive increase. So that's the difference between training and coaching. Everything we do is customized for you and designed to empower you. One case study involves service. We built a service BDC for a dealership where their service advisors were overwhelmed with business and inbound phone calls. And as a result of building that service department, we were able to increase CSI. This dealership hadn't received their service CSI money in almost 2 years. And as a result of adding the service BDC, with handling both their inbound calls and outbound campaigns, we were able to drive up their service retention business over 28%. And we also had we also increased their CSI. And for the first time in 2 years, they were able to receive their CSI payout from their OEM. So that's one of my favorite case studies that's happened recently. Most dealers don't even know the amount of business they're giving away to their competition because of inability to effectively answer phones. So Car Motivators can help dealers build departments, subprime departments, service BDC departments. We customize everything with the leadership of that dealership, and we align these cross-functioning departments to where they're working cohesively as a team. We eliminate that battle between departments as we grow, and as we help them grow their business.
So Sean, with chip supplies now finally building to a match car manufacturer demand, why would a dealership be wise to pre-book a coaching organization sooner than later, before dealers are deluged with new car buyers? And I'm assuming they will be late Q3, Q4, and on into 2023.
Right. At some point, the inventory is coming back, and things are going to, dare I say, but things may regress back to similar selling models as we had pre-inventory shortage. So the species that survives the longest on the planet Earth, Kelley, are the ones that adapt the fastest. Most dealers live in this reactive world, and things change, and then they change after that. If dealers have a plan, because they can see the future through that crystal ball. If they have a plan for potential changes in advance, then they're going to adapt faster than their competition, and they're going to take advantage of it. And think about it like this: the salespeople have learned to sell with low inventory, which they've learned to hold their ground on gross, and they've learned to set the expectation with customers that, like, we have to sell this vehicle at this price because we can't get another one, and we need to keep our lights on. They've gotten really good at that. So what challenges has that created? What skills have they lost, right? Well, customers are now shopping. Their time they're spending shopping online and visiting dealerships is less than it's ever been. And that's because of the inventory shortage. So it is an easier close. And most dealers, dealer principals and GMs we coach during our executive coaching agree that it's kind of like order taking right now. In fact, most dealers who have adapted and adopted order taking as part of their sales, ironically enough, right? We used to jokingly call salespeople order takers when they would listen to the customer and take orders. Now it's a real thing. So, and it's a good thing, because now you're taking that customer off the market. But in the future, when there is a surplus of inventory, customers are going to have their choice again, and it's going to become a more competitive market. So the dealers that hire coaching now to prepare for that market are going to find that their salespeople are better equipped and prepared to close the deal with those customers, continually maintain their gross profit, and essentially not have people stressed out and freaking out that that everything's going to change and we're going to lose our gross. We have already been coaching our dealers, our loyal coaching clients, on strategies to maintain their gross profit while increasing their volume as the market changes. Our clients are going to be ahead of dealers without coaching. It's that simple.
Yeah, plus they're going to be adding additional personnel. It takes a minimum of 90 days just for that personnel to digest how to handle the processes of a dealership, let alone how to create customers for life.
That's right. That's right, Kelley. And I'd like to share another case study in relation to adapting in advance of and the benefits that come from it. We had a dealership. We were coaching with one of our Chevy stores in the St. Louis market. And we were talking about how the inventory shortage was going. We were going to do our new car inventory. We were discussing how our new car inventory was going to dwindle away over the course of a few months, and we weren't going to have any new cars to sell. This was back about 18 to 24 months ago. So this was before the inventory shortage was really affecting dealers. So back then, we actually came up with a new phone script for handling inbound calls, where we were educating the customer on the market situation, which allowed us to sell our vehicles at a higher volume and a higher profit. And we started taking orders. We started that process of taking orders well before they even ran out of cars. So when most dealers in the market were like, oh, well, now we're out of cars, now we're going to try to figure out how to handle it, we had already ironed it out. And we actually had a 19% increase in phone closing as a result of this. We had a 62% increase in appointments set. And we actually had a 25% increase in appointments show. And that was a result of pre-planning, of kind of anticipating where the market was going. And now we're actually working on a plan to handle things and ensure success as inventory ramps back up. So coaching will help you get ahead of the game. And now's a great time to set up a discovery call with Car Motivators, because we've added several new coaches to our team, people that have been sales directors or service directors for 12 to 18 stores are now in our coaching team, and they bring massive value. And in addition to that, we've got our new marketing director for our tier 4 marketing program. So great time to call Car Motivators. We've got some state-of-the-art stuff that's going to help our dealers succeed. Yeah,
it pays to be ready.
Sure does, man.
Like you said,
in the Army, we have a saying, the 6 Ps. Prior planning prevents poor performance.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Well, Sean Kelley, thank you for joining us today.
It's been my honor, Kelley Kleinman. Thank you for this awesome interview, my friend.
Pleasure. Market Motivators, Kelley Kleinman, Sean Kelley, out.